Obviously, at the beginning, I was terrible, I was just really slow. And from the Saturday, we had the hill climbs. And on the second run, the second practice, I broke the engine. It's about, my friendship with the people that race. It's a whole weekend.
Welcome to another episode of Ejja Suq. Today we're meeting Isaac Burlo. So Isaac, where did this passion for racing came from?
Started from when I was young. I was about 8 years old. I started karting at Badger Raceway. I had around 10 years racing there. Never had my own go-kart, so it was always once a week on Saturday. Had a good mentor of mine, Stephen McAuliffe. He was really critical in my development, and that's where it all started, and where it's led up to today, racing hill climbs in Malta, basically. When I started karting, I was actually quite young. I think I was just a year under what you should have been, but anyways, I still managed to sign the paper and apply. And I remember being too short, so I remember like putting tissues under my shoes, under my socks to try and meet the line. If those of you that were at Badger remember, there was a electrical tape stuck to the wall, and you had to be above a certain height. And I just made it, with two booster seats and the pedals with the extensions on, and I managed to drive the kart. Obviously, at the beginning, I was terrible. I was just really slow, and I was quite young. But eventually, I mentioned Stephen McAuliffe. He was a mentor, a friend of mine. He, really guided me. Showed me the racing line. They put cones and say, look, you have to turn here, brake here, or afterwards they'll tell you, listen, you made this mistake. So I think another factor of the success is always trying to learn, recognizing your mistakes, and don't think that you're the best driver, because no one is. You're always trying to improve. And I think if you keep an open mind and see your mistakes and learn from them, that's where you can really develop as a driver.
So what happened after karting, Isaac?
Not much really. I just became a little bit old. Well, old in terms of karting. I was 18, and as well I was studying, so it sort of took a back seat. And I didn't really have a car at the time to race with. I just had a normal, just daily car, and it wasn't something like it was never a question of me racing, or I didn't even know about hill climbs about 5 years ago until I met Francesca. So it was about a 3 or 4 years break before I got involved again with my R53 Mini.
Perfect. And where did this passion came from? Was there anyone in the family that pushed you?
From my end, no, there's no one else in my family that's really into cars racing. I started karting. When I was really young, I had to basically bug my parents to basically take me there, every Saturday, and it was a labor of love, sort of, and buying things are expensive, the helmets, the suits, and the entry, and things like that. So I was fortunate enough at least to do about 10 years there at Badger. But nowadays, how did hill climb come about? My girlfriend's father, Roberto Gauci, had donated to me a classic Mini, but it was literally a shell. It was basically a sieve full of rust. It was a really, really bad state. And in around a year and a half, 2 years, we managed to restore it. The idea was to have it as a road car, with drum brakes. In fact, I assembled the drum brakes myself, and after I took part in one hill climb with my R53, I said, no, this is the way forward for me. And that's where we started from, basically.
Amazing. How was the process of building this Mini?
It was a labor of love. I mean, I'm not a professional mechanic or professional sprayer, but whatever I could, I tried to learn and do. So if it was maybe sanding hard metal, or painting, or maybe fitting bits and pieces, I tried to do my best. But I have my mechanic Noel Ginger was the key basically for the performance of the car, as well as Nono for helping me fit bits and pieces, the subframes and whatnot, and my engineer as well, Carl Assab, for the engineering works. Without them, it would have been impossible. As well as, of course, Roberto for basically giving me the opportunity to even start a project.
Going back to October, Malta Classic. I mean, I remember you like back to back.
What a story it was! Oh, it was a weekend I'll never forget. It was filled with ups and downs. I mean, from the Saturday we had the hill climbs, and on the second run, the second practice, I broke the engine. Decided the engine just blew the head gasket, and I thought that was it. It was game over. But we managed to flip it around. We managed to, between Saturday and Sunday, basically get an engine that was in storage for 10 years on the floor without a cylinder head. Basically resurface it with some 120 grit sandpaper, both the block and the head, just slap it together, bit of pieces from my engine and from this one. No torque wrenches, nothing, just some spanners, and somehow it's made it through the weekend. I'm still amazed at it. It was a great story.
Amazing. And nowadays, you know, like hill climbs, or there are other plans?
For the time being, just hill climbs. I did go to Rakalmuto one time with my modern Mini, the R53 Mini. However, it was just for fun, wasn't really competitive. However, now I'm fully dedicated to hill climb with the Classic Mini in the Classic Modified class.
Isaac, walk us through your car. You know, like what year is it?
So the car is a 1977 Mini. It's done in a way that it looks like a Mark I Mini. So I've changed, because it was in such a bad state, I actually had the opportunity to change the whole panel at the back. So I designed it on a Mark I Mini, which has smaller brake lights and also has a moustache on the front. And we've taken off the chrome lip on the bonnet. So it started off like this. It started off as a standard sort of Mini for the hill climb with a full interior, carpets, little 10-inch wheels, little brakes. It was a sort of Cooper S style Mini. And eventually it led up to the point where it is now. So I've stripped the interior. It still maintains the door cards, you know, I still have the full dashboard, the headliner. It also has some soundproofing in it still, so it's not totally lightweight. I weighed it actually yesterday. It weighs 602 kilos now. It's based off a 1300cc Mini engine, and the cylinder head started off as a 5-port cylinder head, meaning that the exhaust and the carburetors are on one side. There's 3 exhaust ports and two intake. And now I've decided to upgrade it to a 7-port. So it has 4 intakes opposite to the front and 3 exhausts on the back. And this was due to the fact that after Mdina I had to scrap the cylinder head, and I thought, why not decide to spice it up a little bit, you know. But it required a full engine rebuild after Mdina.
Amazing. You're quite a new face in this motorsport scene. And what would you tell others you want to follow suit?
I think it's a great sport. You make a lot of friends. You learn a lot of things. I think that you can try to enter maybe even just a standard road car. You can maybe come in the standard class, you know, for a hill climb, have a go, you know, see if you like it. If you don't, you don't necessarily have to spend, you know, thousands of euros to basically build a race car. You know, this comes with time and with experience. So that's what I would say. And try to get involved as well, you know, car shows, maybe go to some events, spectate, or even get involved as a marshal, for example, and learn a little bit about the hill climbs.
So basically start with what you have.
Exactly, just start what you have. Since
your father-in-law drives a Mini as well, how is your relationship on the racetrack?
It's an interesting one on the racetrack, because obviously it's you know, we're competing, although we're not in the same class, but you know, there is the overall fastest classic, which most of the time he's been very successful in, and now I've sort of taken that. But I think that it's you know, it's respectful. I think that we both appreciate each other, you know, each other's skills. You know, he's been racing for longer than I've been alive. You know, way back drag racing in the 90s. You know, and I've fairly recently come along. You know, so it is an interesting one. But we do, I think, enjoy keeping the mini spirit going on within the family. That's the most important thing. Although people do tend to joke a little bit about it. You know, it's.
How's the feeling for every race?
I think one of the biggest factors of me going back to hill climb, first of all, I'm in the committee. So I've been on the committee now for the first time for a few months. So it's about my friendship with the people that race. It's a whole weekend. You know, I get to meet my mechanic and my girlfriend as well races, Francesca. So it's really nice to spend the whole weekend just driving and just talking and preparing the car as well. It's a nice experience together.
Going back to the Medina Grand Prix, you know, the atmosphere there was in that corner after the bridge. It was amazing.
Yes, I mean, as a driver, obviously I cannot hear the commentary, but you're so focused. But afterwards, I mean, I did see everyone excited and tell me, you know, things about the race. But it was one of the best experiences I've had, really, at the Medina Grand Prix. The chance to race against cars other than just yourself. I mean, it's like driving on the PlayStation, you know, against other cars. It's yeah. For a minute, you know, because I never really raced against other cars, you forget that you're driving a car. It almost feels like a simulator. So when you're actually there and you think, oh God, I'm actually doing this, you know, and you feel the car, you know, you feel the temperature, the car gets boiling hot inside, you smell the exhaust, you feel the car, it's an amazing experience.
Any plans for the future, Isaac?
I mean, Project R's never really finished, right? I mean, right now it's in a good place, but I don't want to jinx it, so hopefully it will stay in one piece this season, because I don't feel like rebuilding it again. But for the future, I think I would probably keep it as it is. I don't really have any more plans to maybe build another car, but I'll probably keep on developing the Mini. But who knows? Who knows what happens? I mean, things, you know, could come around the corner at any time.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Isaac.
Thank you.